Hi, it's Mike from 24 Hour Solar Power here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our 3 kVA off-grid system and basically what it can and can't do. This is a picture of the Sunpower panels installed using this. This is the premium Sunpower panel and what it looks like. So I'm going to get into it today and give you a bit of a talk about how it works and what it looks like installed. This is, this complete system fully installed in the shed, how we normally do it. On a blackboard, we make a wall and we put everything on the wall. So let's get and have a look at the quote. And that's what they look like finalised, and show you basically what's in a little 3 kVA off-grid system. So basically all our quotes, we give choices of panels. Now depending on whether we're supplying only, so we're going to post everything to you and you're going to DIY it, or if we are going to install the system for you. Some things to think about and consider. With the panel warranties, some panel manufacturers will not honour the warranty if it's not installed by us. Other panels, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother them whether it's DIY install or if it's installed by a certified installer. So just check that. All our systems are going to have different panel options. Now the basic main difference between the panel options on the system, we'll just talk about if we're installing the system for you. These come with a full 12-year parts and labour warranty. So if anything happens within the 12 years, they will pay us for the labour on site to swap it over and fix it up within the 12-year. All these panels come with a 25-year performance warranty. In my opinion, that performance warranty is not worth the paper it's written on. So if anyone's talking to you about buying a system that's got a full 25-year performance warranty on the panels, it'll cost you $3,000 or $4,000 to prove that the panels didn't perform that period of time. You're better off just looking at something that's a 12-year warranty, or like with the Sunpower panel options here, it's a full 25-year warranty, parts and performance. So it's not just a combination or a mixed, or 12 years on this and 10 years on that, 25 years on the other. It's a full 25-year warranty. So we'll always give you options of panels so you can actually work around with what's depending on your budget. We're a big fan of the Sunpower panels, and RECs are other choice of premium panels that we like to use. And the reality with the Australian climate at the moment is I'd highly recommend looking at more of a mono panel rather than a poly panel. So the mono panels, they handle the heat a lot better, and they just perform. They will outperform a poly panel over the 25 years. So it really depends on what you're looking to do. So you'll get a couple of different panel options. What we've designed is, so with the systems, you can maximize the system design. So this one here will be supplying a 3 kVA inverter in this system design. What that basically means is a 3 kVA inverter that in the right conditions, it'll do 3,000 watts. Now, if you click on these data sheets, they'll bring up the data sheet for the product. And something I'd highly recommend to look and investigate is temperature D ratings on products. With these items, the hotter they work, the less they perform. So I'd recommend, just pretending this is a 2,500 watt inverter and don't expect any more out of it. It will do a lot more than that in the right conditions. Like if it's cold, for example, I've seen these things do 4,000 watts. But yeah, in the hot temperature, when you really want to run a lot of heavy items, they're really good for about 2,500 watts, and the hotter it gets, the less energy it'll give you. So it's important that if you are going to be running long, heavy loads all day long, is to either increase the inverter size so you don't end up with a temperature overload and having a blackout and unhappy with your system. So it's something really important to think about. If you just think about a 3 kVA inverter like this, I'll use a kettle and a toaster. A kettle pulls about 2,000 watts, and a toaster will be somewhere between, let's say 1,000 and 1,500. So let's say it's a 1,500 watt toaster and a 2,000 watt kettle. So you've got 3,000 watt inverter here, you've got your 2,000 watt kettle on, you flick your toaster on, you're going to have a blackout. So that's what this means basically, is you can pull 3,000 watts all at once at the same time. And like I said, you don't want to be pushing these things to the limit, to the extreme. If you feel like you've been running a kettle and toaster together all the time, you're better off jumping up to looking at a 5 kVA system. Now the other thing that we offer here is the option to, if you just select this option here, it's a grid connected inverter. So how it works is basically we put the grid connected inverter in, and over daytime when the sun's shining and your panels are doing well, You've got your 3 kVA inverter here from batteries. This one here always gets its power from batteries, and this one here gets its power from the panels. So in the right conditions, you've got 3 kVA here overnight, and these are a little 3 kilowatt inverter, or 2 kilowatt inverter in this situation. So of a day in the right conditions, you can pull somewhere between 4,000 to 5,000 watts of energy at the one time if you have both these in, if the sun's shining and things are doing great. Adding these grid connected inverters are a lot more efficient for daily load. So if you plan to run an air conditioning, anything heavy of a day on long periods of time when the sun's out, these are a great option to add because they're actually more efficient as well. There's about 5% losses from your panels to the usable power at your power point when using an AC coupled inverter or grid connected inverter compared to when you take the panels to batteries, pull it back out of batteries to your power point. You can lose 20 to 30% efficiencies from doing all that. So off-grid, something to really consider if you're thinking about using a lot of energy of a day, whack in one of these AC coupled inverters. Yeah, most commonly we put a 3.3 kilowatt inverter with these, and it just really depends. And the ability, if you do that, you can add a lot more panels to a smaller system and understand you've only got access to usable power of a day when the sun's shining. So if it's a really bad day, it's raining, this inverter here, you're pretty much all day going to be back to limit to a 3,000 watt inverter, 3 kVA inverter, and that's when your generator is going to take over and replace this. So on those days where it's humid, it's hot, but there's this cloud cover and there's no usable power, they're the days that literally when you fire up your generator, it's going to be taking over and running your daily load. So that's how this AC coupled inverter works. Now with batteries, with this size system, we really highly recommend getting a minimum of 2 batteries. You can put one in, and that's going to come down to you being disciplined. If you're just going to run lights, TVs, fridges, nothing heavy, you can just jump in here and edit this quantity, just put 1 battery in, and it's actually going to change the price down the bottom. We'd highly recommend a minimum of 2 though, but it all really depends on yourself and what you plan to use. If it's just going to be lights, TVs and fridges, 100% just stick with this. We can put the 1 battery in, and if you plan to run anything heavy like a kettle or a toaster, we really recommend put the 2 batteries in, and it's going to double your storage capacity. As a business, late last year we made a decision at the end of 2019 to move towards more modular solar systems. So all our batteries we supply these days, unless you're looking for a really low cost lead acid type battery, all our systems are completely expandable. So in the future, you can buy more and more of these batteries and just keep adding them and grow into your system. So that literally at the end of the day, you can, in 5 years time, you say, hey Mike, we just want a little bit more storage because we've had some kids or something's happened, and you want to grow that usable capacity overnight. You can just buy another battery and whack it in there and just edit the quantity here. So we give 2 options with batteries. Now these rack mounted lithium type batteries, they're meant to go in a cupboard, which is a cupboard down here, which we supply. These can be mounted on the wall or on the ground. Most of the time we mount them on the ground. As you can see in this picture here, this is what this setup normally looks like. We just whack the 1 battery in the cupboard. So if you just do buy 1 system, 1 battery, we normally will pre-wire your cupboard so it's for 3, and then literally in the future, you just buy a battery, whack it in, and as long as the system's on the internet, we can remotely log in and we can do some programming and change the parameters. So yeah, so it's quite simple to add in the future. So these rack mounted batteries do require a cupboard. Now we always give 2 options. These Zenergy batteries are an LTO, which is a lithium titanate oxide battery. The real difference between the 2 for you at the end of the day for a customer, from a performance wise, you turn the kettle on, it's still going to work, your lights are still going to light up, it's not going to change any of that sort of stuff. It's really what you're getting here is you're getting double the warranty, so a 20-year warranty. And basically, for example, the warranty in these batteries here are at the end of the 10 years, you've got 60 to 80% usable capacity out of the battery. So over the 10-year period, they will warrant that you'll have 60 to 80% usable capacity. And the simple things, if you want to grow that, you just buy another battery and you get that storage back that you've lost over that period of time. With these ones here, they actually warrant that usable capacity at the end of 20 years. So over the 20 years, these guys will warrant that you'll have 80% usable capacity at the end of 20 years. So you're pretty much buying double the warranty. So from a point of view of lights lighting up or being bright or anything like that, it's not going to make any difference. It's just really you're buying a bigger warranty. And the other really good thing about these Zenergy batteries, which I love, is actually they just mount straight to a wall. So here's an example here of literally, yeah, they just mounted straight up to a wall. This customer's put some panny panel in behind it, which is like a Hebel to help with the temperature and stuff like that. But basically, they just mount straight to a wall, which you do not actually require to buy a cupboard, basically. So just can go up on a wall. These are up quite high on that wall, but basically, yeah. So if from a point of view, yeah, so these cupboards are actually not necessarily to buy this cupboard, so you can just select the choice and buy the cupboard if that's something that you want. Or if you have a sort of a cupboard space that you're planning on using or building something, we can work with that there. And we can wire them all up. So the battery combiner that we use to combine all your batteries, it'll normally take 4 batteries really comfortably. So really, if you get a cupboard with, yeah, you get a cupboard where you're not buying from us, you know, we can wire it up for 4 batteries. So in the future, literally it's about the battery arrived, you unplug these caps, you put it in there, you plug it in, you turn the battery on, give us a call. As long as your system's on the internet, we can log in, we can remotely change all the settings so that, you know, straight away you add your extra batteries for that way there. So that's how our little basic, yeah, these little 3 kVA systems work and what they can do. So they're really designed for those sort of customers that, you know, if you're looking to run lights, TVs, fridges, occasionally flick a toaster on or a kettle, or not turn the toaster and kettle on at the same time. These little systems in the right conditions will run a 2.5 kilowatt cooling capacity air conditioning. Now, understanding with air conditioning of a day, it's pretty simple to do with this sort of system. It'll run at no problems at all. What it comes down to is if you really want to run it overnight and run the air conditioner overnight, that's basically going to come down to battery capacity. So if you're just planning on putting 1 or 2 batteries in, what's going to happen if you do plan to run the air conditioning all night long is you're going to wake up in the morning and have flat batteries. So if air conditioning is something really important to you, it's about off-grid. If you use a lot of power of a day, it's more and more panels. So, and panels are cheap because the more panels you put up, the more of the rebate you get. So more you can do of a day, it works out better because you can add more panels. You actually, the more panels you put up, the more rebate you get. At the moment in Australia, the rebate's about $600 a kilowatt that you install. So every extra kilowatt of panels you install, you receive $600 discount off it. Where batteries, zip, nothing. So the more battery you add, the more you pay. It's pretty simple. So the more you can switch your loads to do of a day than of a night, the more economical basically works out to be. And sometimes that's not possible. So, and the more batteries you add, you're going to want to add more solar panels as well to make sure those batteries are getting charged. So something to consider and think about. So yeah, appreciate the opportunity to be of service and do a design and a quote for you. If this is something, a system that you really think that, you know, you're just looking around lights, TVs, fridges and the basic stuff, shoot us an email. We can send through an itemized quote for you and your situation. And yeah, we can either supply DIY, which is fully pre-programmed. We'll supply videos on how to do all the installation and stuff like that. The one thing with DIY is you do not get the rebates. So sometimes in smaller systems that can work out, you're better off to DIY. And larger systems, you know, you're better off actually having us to install it because the rebates cover the cost of our installation and then some. Yeah, pretty much anything sort of that 2.5 to 3 kilowatt and above, you pretty much would want us to install it. You'll get more of a rebate than what the installation cost is and then some. So thank you for watching and appreciate the opportunity. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below, or any questions or comments. Down below in the descriptions, we'll put the cost of these systems when they change from time to time, the average cost. So if you want to know just an average, get a rough estimate of your budget, have a look down below and we'll have some DIY pricing and also fully installed pricing for these sort of systems. So thank you and have a great day.